y'all, it's me, Cody. This is the Cody Knits podcast. This is episode 10 already. Wow. For those of you who are new, this is an episode or a podcast about knitting, crochet, yarn, um, other things that I just find interesting and want to talk about. Um, So yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Cody. For those of you who don't know, I'm Cody, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a nurse. I'm in school to be a nurse practitioner. One more semester. Super excited. Um, yeah. You can find me here on Instagram. No, I'm not on Instagram right now. I'm on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube as Cody Knits, a podcast, and then I am Cody Knits, CODI, Cody Knits on Ravelry, and on Instagram I'm nurse underscore Cody, CODI, on Instagram. So come find me, join the Ravelry group. It's the Ravelry group is Cody Knits Podcast Group. Join the group. I give away prizes and stuff every now and then, which another one will be coming up shortly. Wow, I have 316 YouTube subscribers now. That's awesome. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. Thank you for supporting me and just watching and spending time with me. I know time is valuable and that's something you can never get back. And so when someone spends time for me or with me, it makes me very happy, very appreciative, and yeah, so thank you. Sorry, I was putting my phone on silent. The other thing is it's almost the end of July, and I haven't done the happy birthdays. So I do happy birthdays to the people who are in the group, and I don't say exactly what day or whatever, but so for July, some have already passed, so happy belated birthday, and there's still some coming up, but I won't say when, what, but so who we have here? Debbie J. Jackson, happy birthday. Applefield 63, happy birthday. Dancing Geek, happy birthday. Everyone knows who you are. Big Head Ike, happy birthday. Dusame, maybe I'm saying that right. Dusamae, happy birthday. Linda Dawn 64, happy birthday. And Angel Eyes 7664, happy birthday. So happy birthday to all of you. Happy belated birthday, happy coming up birthday. I know that when it's your birthday month, it's a good month, but it hasn't been a good month for me. It's been a rough few weeks. I'm in school and I was struggling in one of my classes. I usually don't get as stressed out as I did this quarter or this semester. Summer semesters are super quick. We had a diagnostics course, and there really isn't a textbook that goes with it. Just a little book that has what normal values are and abnormal and stuff. But it was just a very unorganized summer on the school's part, and it really affected me, and I just struggled. But I pulled it off in the end. I passed. In order to pass my diagnostics class, I had to make an 80 on the final. So we were supposed to have 3 quizzes. We only had 2, and each quiz was 15% of your grade. but our final was 50% of our grade. So yeah, I was freaking out, but it ended up helping me. So in order to make, so we have to have a 75 test average in order to pass the class. And then they'll add in all the other, like papers and stuff to come up with your grade. But you have to have a 75 test average in order to pass the class, and a 75 average, 75 or higher average in the course to pass. So I needed an 80 on the final exam to make a 75 test average, and I made an 89. And part of the reason it was so stressful for me, I think, was like there's a couple, like one of our quizzes and the final. So we had to analyze 12 lead EKGs, and then we also had to interpret chest x-rays and things like that. And the pictures didn't show up. So here I am taking a quiz that, and then a final that's 50% of my grade, and the questions aren't showing up. And I'm freaking out about that. And then I'm freaking out because I'm thinking, okay, so there's only 36 questions on this final, and then if that's 6 of them gone that she's not counting, then that's going to make each question count for more points, and if I miss one, it's more at stake. And I'm already not the best test taker in the world, so it was rough. I mean, those are the worst finals I've ever had in my entire life. And in undergrad, I had a pretty bad one. I was in psychiatric nursing, and I had to take a final, which, was fine or whatever, but I had the flu. I woke up with the flu that day, so I started throwing up in the middle of the exam. And the teacher, she's like, she kept seeing me. I guess I was like, struggling a little bit, and I was like, surely the final isn't that bad. And normally I don't, spaz out too bad about finals, because I'm like, I've studied it all year. It should just be a review at this point. It's not new content. Well, sometimes they have new content, but it's usually not the majority of the test. Anyway, this was even worse than throwing up in the middle of your final. Oh, I'm just so glad it's over. And I passed both my classes. I had two classes. I passed. I made a B and an A. I made a B in that diagnostics class that I thought I was going to fail, and I made an A in my adult 2 class. So yay! I'm just glad it's over. And then there's a bunch of other issues going on with like clinical sites and trying to get in, and it's just so much drama had been going on all at one time. It was so overwhelming, and I'm so glad it's over. Now I just got to do clinical until the middle of August, and then the final semester starts. Anyway, I am sure that most of you are here for the yarny stuff. Yay! So let me get right into that. Finished objects. I don't have any. And that's because I was so stressed out and everything. I didn't knit for like 2 weeks. Like, I knitted like a little, but not enough to finish anything at all. But I do have something that I was supposed to show you last time that I forgot, that one of my viewers pointed out. And that's the crochet baby dress that I was working on. So here it is. I have no clue who's gonna get it, but they're a little bit, this side's a little bit longer than that side, but don't tell nobody. But look how cute the little buttons are. And so there's buttons here because, and they actually unbutton the straps like that, and that's how you can get it on and off. So yeah, I thought it was cute. Now, I do have some stuff on the needles, and I'm loving them. Let me get some tea. I'm thirsty. This is tea, by the way. Thanks to Kay Jones who sent this with my lovely bag. This is real English tea. It's it came from it came from oh it just left my mind. Oh, come on, Cody. I believe the Chatsworth. Chatsworth. Yes, Chatsworth. So, sorry, my dad was calling. Anyway, and it's delicious, so good. It's stronger than the tea that I get here. Um, but I like it. I like it so good. So thank you. Anyway, what was I doing? Whips. One of them is this one. This comes in my bag from Mina Makes, the knitting, who does the Knitting X Pack podcast. I tried to get Billy Bob. His last name is Thornton. Kay says it should be Billy Bob Thornton, and since I love Kay Jones so much, that's what it is. So this is my sock I've been working on. I'm using my Knitter's Pride, I believe. No, Knit Pick. I got this set of nickel plated. I don't know if I showed you these double pointed needles because I was using some bamboo ones and they broke. Whoops. But these are zooming along, and I really don't mind the DPNs aren't that as hard as DPNs. I'm going to talk in just a little bit about give some new knitter advice. But anyway, this is where I was last time you saw, and this is how far I've gotten. I think I've got about 2 more inches of the leg, and then I'll start the gusset and stuff, or whatever it's called. I don't remember. This is my first like real sock, so. And the yarn and the pattern all came from a wonderful viewer. And you're wonderful. Thank you so much. And Miss Alice. And the yarn is, let me just tell you, it's Malabrigo stock. It's 852 Persia. And I figured since it's sock yarn and she gifted me a sock yarn pattern, a sock pattern, I should make socks with them. So yeah, and I took these with me. I take these I work on these when I don't have to think because it's just knit, 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 knit until you get to a certain length. So I like, and because they have the little they're on each of the DPNs. It's like I can do a row quick, like in a minute or so, and like let me do this real quick, and then I can put it down and go do something. This is why people like doing socks, and I can completely understand why you always have a pair of socks on the go. I know I was working on these at the 4th of July too. I'm a slow sock knitter. Don't judge. But I have a hard time picking which one I want to do because I like all of them. Okay, the next one, this is in my manly bag from Aaron at Gimme Yarn 418 Southpaw Creations on Etsy. This was a pattern recommended to me by a viewer because last time I was having issues with a baby like pullover sweater not working out. The pattern made no sense at all. No sense at all. I'm drinking it into my little tea for one. Isn't that cute? Anyway, here's the pattern. It's called, see if I can get it where you can see it, Easy Pullover for Babies, Toddlers, and Kids. That's the cute little picture. And it says it's by, I think she sent me the link, and the Pearl Bee is the person, the designer. Um, and the website is www.pearlbee.com. And then I would just search for easy pullover for babies. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'm gonna try to do show notes this time. I have a lot of paperwork to do, but it's Friday night. Well, Friday, yeah, it's 6:40 now. By the way, this is the second time I recorded this. I did do it earlier in my bedroom where there's lots of beautiful sun and everything, and for whatever reason it didn't work. But anyway, so I ripped out the other baby thing, sweater, that's supposed to be sweater, and I started this. I have like a couple more inches to go before this is the back, before I, get into some more fun stuff, but it's, there, and I love this. This is the first time I ever did like a moss stitch pattern. Now, I don't necessarily think I would recommend this pattern for absolute beginners, because it's easy, but maybe like an advanced beginner. Yeah, there we go. And the yarn, anyway, I've never done, sorry, I'm all over the place. I've never done this moss stitch, and I love the texture that it gives. I really like it, and I want to make a hat that's moss stitch, I think. Okay, I know a lot of people don't like purling, but I don't mind purling. It's just as fast for me. I don't mind purling back and forth. Now, it does, like on this, how when I'm doing like stockinette stitch, you purl the back side and knit the front side. But when I'm purling all in a big row like that, it does take me a little bit longer than if I'm just knitting across the row. But if I'm switching back and forth, because I knit continentally, it's just quick for me. I don't have to worry about yarn forward and pick it back up and get my tension. I just flick my finger forward and it moves the yarn and goes faster. So it doesn't bother me to purl. Long story short. Anyway, I'm knitting this on my interchangeable carbon needles. This is a US what? 3.5 millimeter. The white stuff hasn't rubbed off of this yet, so, but it will, I'm sure. That's the only thing I don't like about these needles, is they rub off. But you still have it etched in the silver part down here, what the US size is, but there's not the millimeter size. And why does the US have to be so different? Why can't we just all have the same measurement system? Makes life so much easier. Anyway, this is the yarn. It's called Babe. Babe. I got you, babe. Babe. I got you, babe. A little Sonny and Cher there. But here's what it looks like in the ball. It's white. It's got, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got pink and blue specks in it. Or flecks, or however you want to say it. And I guess, I thought that was kind of gender neutral, right? I wear pink. Boys wear pink. But I understand you don't want to put like a pink sweater on a little boy because everybody would be calling it a she and that kind of stuff. But I think something having a little bit of pink in it isn't going to mean anything. People in America are oversensitive about that kind of gender roles and stuff like that. I think it's silly, but I guess I would. This is in my cute little froggy bag from Aaron at Give Me Your 418. This is a pattern that was gifted to me by the designer at JMO Creation. She gave it to me a little while ago. I showed you, and I'm super excited. Thank you so much again, by the way. But the pattern is called the Crashing Waves Cowl, and it's been really fun. I'm knitting it using the Red Heart Shimmer yarn. Yeah. See what happened? This is supposed to be a center pull ball, and the center pulled out. That's for sure. Ugh, been a mess. Anyway, so this is how far I've gotten. I'm knitting it with my interchangeable carbons again. Using my little stitch marker from Cupcake Crochet that she sent me. But yeah, I don't like knitting this yarn. I'm going to finish, but I don't like knitting with this yarn. I like to crochet with this yarn much better. But I don't like knitting with it. It splits really easy, and it's just not, it's just not it's not sliding well and all that. So, yeah. So, but I'm enjoying the pattern. It's really fun. Not too hard. You should go get it. It's if you like cowls, it's really cute. It's not a difficult pattern to follow. I would say it's a beginner. If you can knit in the round, then go for it. Okay. This is my Messalina shawl. Working on. I got a little bit of progress. This is where I was last time. I've gotten to here. I still love this. I figured out who I'm going to give this to, too. And I can't wait. And she doesn't watch the podcast, so I can tell her. She is my mentor and friend. Her name is Dr. Linda Mason Barber, and she is a nurse practitioner, and she has her doctorate in, actually, I'm sorry, she has her PhD in nursing, and she teaches. And she's wonderful, and she's such an inspiration, and I love her so much, and she's wonderful. So I'm gonna give her this because I know she will appreciate it. And sometimes, so she talks about how she's in like with menopause and hot flashes and stuff, and she'll get hot and cold and hot and cold. And she's always having to take her jacket off. So I thought a nice little shawl will be good. It's easy to take on and off, and if she's a little cold, she can wear it. And yeah, so I really want to give it to her, and I think she will like it and appreciate it. When I spend a lot of time, making things, I really, think hard about who to give it to if I didn't make it with someone in mind at first. Sometimes I do, and then I change my mind. So I only have this much yarn left on this one, and then I have a whole nother one here. But I think I have about 2.5 more repeats before I start the next section of this. And let me tell you the yarn. This is a yarn that I got in my yarn box for June. Or was it July? I don't think I've gotten one for July. When did I get this? This is the box. I'm keeping the box because, I think, hold on a second. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. I ordered some food through Grubhub, and it got here fast. I thought it'd be at least an hour, and it's only been like 20 minutes. Anyway, when did I get this last yarn box? Oh, there's no date on it. But anyway, I got it in a yarn box, and this is Miss Crosby Loves to Play. And the colorway is African Gray, and it really does look like that. It's like very subtle. The colors are so subtle. Diamond is very hyper right now. You see her running? Look. She got excited because somebody knocked on the door. This is 80% superwash merino wool and 20% silk, and it feels just as lovely as it sounds. And I'm knitting them with my Deborah Norva wooden needles. Okay. Okay, two more things I have. So if you watched the first podcast or one of those, I was working on this way back then, and I was just learning how to really do stuff like cabling and stuff. So I started this scarf, and then I haven't worked on it since then until yesterday. I was looking through some stuff and I found it, and I think I'm gonna. It's funny because it was interesting because I picked it up. I started doing another repeat. It's called the Easy Cabled Scarf or something like that. And it's cool to see because when I was pretty new knitter when I started this, and I remember how hard it was. And it took me so long, and I didn't get the pattern. I was so afraid of messing up that like I had to read every line, everything. I'd be like knit two, okay, knit two, purl four, like that. But now this time I picked it up and I was like, okay. And it said, kind of glanced over it and I was like, okay, knit, these are knits, these are pearls. Then I got to the cable part and I was like, reading it, I was like, okay, why didn't they just say cable four? Like, I get it now. So I just marked little tallies of what row I was on and in the 6 row repeat. And yeah, it's interesting to see like how far you've come. Um, And this again reminds me to tell you new knitters something. Oh, I'm knitting this with Red Heart Super Saver yarn in the color light blue. The other thing I'm knitting is this. Well, let me hold it up. It's going to be like a little Latgan, corner to corner. It's super easy pattern. But I made my mom a shawl. I mean a shawl. A real Afghan called A Drop in the Pond by well, her YouTube is Beth in Texas. And I just watched, she had like a crochet along video set, and that's how I did it. And the, that's how I did the, drop in the pond. And then I had all this leftover, yarn, so I just figured I'd do that. And it sits in a little box next to my couch, so anytime I sit on my couch, I can just pick it up and crochet a little bit and whatnot. I enjoy it. It's mindless. It's really good for watching movies because it's like you go into spaces instead of stitches, so I don't have to pay. I can just feel for the next space and do the double crochets and then go on to the next. So yeah, those are my whips. So Mel call. What is that from? That's from something. Hmm. And also, it made me think of Blue's Clues, where he's like, "Here's the mail, it never fails." Um, so I got my bag from Cuppy Cake Crochet, and look, it's nursing. If you're following me on Instagram, you've already seen it. It's big. It's a good size bag. You could fit a shawl, I think, in here. Inside is red, but I love it. Got the little band-aids and crutches, and it's all nursey and wonderful. She gave me that, and she gave me this cute little card and her cute little message. I love that, and all the cards that I get and things like that that you send me, I keep on the wall behind my computer here, and it just makes me happy. So I got that, and then Comfrey Queen 1 on Ravelry, Miss Kate She sent me a wonderful package, a little gift, and it's so sweet and generous. And I'm going to show you. Thanks, Miss Kate. You probably, if you are a Bakery Bear patron, and you read the latest Bakery Bears, what are they calling it? The little, uh, not a flyer. It's like a little newspaper kind of thing. You'll recognize her name because she did a nice little article about a nice little review in there, and you should check it out. So anyway, she sent me this Hatitude book, and there's like all the hats in here I want to knit, almost all of them, and I'm super excited. That's that. Hatitude Knits for Every Mood by Kathy Karen. Love it. And she sent me this other hats, a knitter's dozen. Lots of hats in there to knit. There's one in here that's kind of like a Fair Isle hat, and I've never done Fair Isle, and I've been kind of wanting to, so maybe that hat will be a good one. Now, these two are invaluable resources. The Knitter's Book of Finishing Techniques by, what's her name? Nancy M. Wiseman. This has all kinds of tips and techniques about binding off, casting on, decreases, and it has pictures of what the different kinds of decreases look like, and what different kinds of cast-ons when they're good, how to stitch things together, seam things together, picking up stitches, all that. This is wonderful. This is where I feel like I struggle the most, is in my finishing techniques. As far as if I have to sew something or that kind of thing, because we all know I cannot sew. Isn't that right, Mr. Bakery Bear? See his ear, all that. Anyway, I still love him. And then the other one, I really recommend all new knitters get this. Knit Fix, Problem Solving for Knitters by Lisa Cardis. Okay, this is where I was going to talk to the new knitters. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid to try new things. Like cabling, it's not as hard as it looks or sounds. Really, it's not. 2, don't be afraid to try new things. I really recommend that, you do a pattern or whatnot, and when you're picking one out, don't just do one that is, you're real comfortable with. Find one that has something new to it that kind of pushes you a little bit, and you learn that way. So, if you can knit in a round, and you can knit, and you can purl, then find a pattern that has one more extra something to it to try out, and you might not get it by reading it. You might think that it's too hard, but go on YouTube and look at tutorials on how to do it. Just type it in, and there's wonderful tutorials. A lot of times the patterns will tell you, if you read through the whole pattern, if they say, for instance, cable to front, if they put C to the number 2 F, cable to front, and if you look in the little appendices kind of thing, there's a thing that tells you what that means and how to do it. And it's going to seem awkward when you first do it. Everything does, right? Like when you first picked up the needles and started knitting. But that's how the best way is to learn. So for instance, pick a hat. You know how to do a hat. You know how to knit in the round. You know how to knit. You know how to purl. So something with knits and purls. And then cable, like add that to your next thing. Okay, so it's going to be a challenge to get through, but you're going to learn how to cable on something that you're a little more familiar with, and it's just pushing your boundaries a little bit. And then by the time you finish the project, you have a wonderful hat, and you have learned a new skill. So now you can go and say, you know, that shawl I wanted to make has that cabling in it, and I was always intimidated by it, but I always thought it was so pretty. Now you can pick it up and go do it because you know you can. So go do it. And go buy this book off of Amazon. I guess I haven't looked, but I think it should be on Amazon. Everything else is. But this is wonderful because it teaches you about reading your knitting. It talks about like what do you do if you drop your stitches, and it teaches you how to pick. Don't panic. Teaches you how to pick up the stitches, like from, you know, it's like 4 all the way down here, and it looks like your knitting's just gonna go in 2. Teaches you how to pick it up and how to fix it so that it still looks like a knit stitch on the one side, or if it's supposed to be purl, how to do it so it still looks like a purl stitch, and then you put it back on the needle and you're good to go. So you don't have to rip it out all the way back just because you drop a stitch. You can, and if you do happen to rip out, or your stitches fall off your needles, which is always one of my fears, and it happened all the time. And so every time I'd drop stitches, I'd have to just redo the whole thing, because even if I tried to pick them back up, I didn't really know how they were supposed to go back on the needles. It's a loop, put the loops on. But they're supposed to go on a certain way. You want your right leg facing forward. Anyway, this book here has great illustrations and details. Also, it spells it out in easily to understand wording to teach you how to do stuff like pick up your stitches. And it even goes into like how you correct your cables if you cross them the wrong way. It teaches you, it even goes into like cast-ons and what's the best one to do for what kind of project. How to alter, this even has like how to alter seams and stuff like that. And very helpful. This book, you should get it. Thank you so much for sending it to me. I'm glad that I found it. Yeah, so yeah, go check it out. Sorry, I went on a little tangent. But she also sent me these cute little cable protectors. They're little goats. And they have the little thing in the belly so you can stick them on there, and they, you know, point protectors. Love it. So, now, newbies, I got some new stuff that I'm excited about. One of the things is I had a coupon, and I have been knitting my Messalina shawl on these same needles. And so I went to the store Tuesday morning, and I picked these up because they were cheap. Oh, I think Billy Bob's going to come out of his cage. He didn't want to earlier. So, let's see. I'll keep talking and see what he does. Okay, so I got these. These are size 2, 47 inches. US 5, 47 inch. And US 1, 40 inch. So, yay! Super excited. I got some of these little eyeballs. And then, so today I took my mom to the doctor. Oh, he went back in. I guess he didn't want to come. So I took my mom to the doctor because about 7 months ago she had kidney stones, and when they did the CT of her kidneys, they got the bases of her lungs and they found some spots, which, you know, that's always scary. But they're really small, so they said, well, we'll just wait 6 months and do another CT scan and see if they've grown or whatnot. Hold on, I'm going to go get Billy Bob. Hey, Billy Bob. Billy Bob. Sorry. Took so long. Say hey, Billy Bob. Hey, Billy Bob. Good boy. Step up. Let's see on my shoulder. There you go. That's Billy Bob. Um, you want to come over too? Come on, Diamond. Come on. She's looking like Diamond's looking like. What about me? I want to be there too. Hey, hey. It's my two babies. It's so funny. I think the video is really dark, but I'll try to put it I'll try to post it somehow. But Diamond is a little bit scared of Billy Bob. And Billy Bob will get in the floor and chase Diamond around. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, I love you. I do. I still love you too. Yeah, I do. Oh, Billy Bob got her nose. That's not nice, Billy Bob. Uh, Billy Bob, what do you do that for? You gotta be nice to Diamond. What happens if I'm not around? I guess you can take care of yourself, huh? Anyway, so, anyway, took my mom to the doctor to get the results from her 6-month follow-up CT. Everything was all clear. The nodules were, well, the little nodules were still there. They're just calcifications, which people get those all the time. But you have to watch and make sure they don't grow. If they grow, they're tumors. Calcifications don't grow. And there's not more of them. So that's always good. And she's not having any signs and symptoms. So that's good. But obviously my mom's been like freaking out and worried. I was a little bit, but not too bad because I kind of knew. But, Edie Bob. Anyway, so we're excited. So I decided to celebrate a little bit. So I took her to lunch. And then, I went to a local yarn shop in, she lives in Gainesville, Georgia. And I'd never been to their local yarn shop there. And it's called, Yarn Rhapsody. And the lady there, the owner, she was so sweet and adorable, very helpful, but not like hovery, but she was like, very welcoming, and all of that stuff. And, she sat there and chit-chatted with my mom a little bit because my mom doesn't knit or crochet, and she kind of got, and the shop isn't really big, so my mom got a little bored. Come here, step up, step up, step up. Why do you do that? I, uh-oh. Can you? I don't know. Can you see right there? I got her a new a little play gym. She has a new toy. Sorry, I'm sure you just love seeing my backside, huh? But anyway, so I stopped at that little yarn store and let me show you what I got. I spent way too much, but it's okay. Oh wait, before I do that, I have another mail call. This is a donation from Miss Kathy. She sent me some hats to donate to the patients that she knitted, to my patients that she knitted. And, oh, they're so beautiful. She sent me this one. It's got a little cabling pattern. Beautiful. And then this, I've never seen this pattern before. How cool. It's so pretty. This is kind of like a slouchy hat. And then this one. And you know I love orange. And orange is for leukemia. That's why I like orange. I like red too. That's like my, I guess my favorite color. But orange is also my other favorite color. Can you have two favorites? Anyway, I like all colors really. But anyway, this one will be perfect because leukemia. And then this one. And the green is actually for our other patient population that's on our floor. Leukemia and lymphoma is green. I think. Hold on, I might got confused. I think it is green. Anyway, thank you so much. The patients are gonna love these, and I love them. And yeah, thank you so much. They're gonna put them to good use. Really good. Okay, so I wanted to make my mom a shawl, so I tried to tell her to pick out some yarn, and she didn't really want to. She said, just whatever. And I was like, okay, well, what color do you want? And she's like, something that just goes with everything. I was like, okay, so do you want like cream or white or brown, tan or black or what? Anyway, with the help of the sweetest little shop lady there, the owner, we came up with this. It's Encore tweed. It's super soft. It's 75% acrylic, 22% wool, and 3% rayon. And I wanted to get her a yarn that was easy for, make her one that's easy for her to care for. She can't really stand up and hand wash and all that stuff. So, the color number is 1363. But, yeah, I bought like 5 of these to make her a shawl. And it's got little brown and black flecks, and it's kind of a cream color. It looks a little more white on there. But yeah, I got her. And I also got myself some stuff. This I'm so excited about. This is Malabrigo Mecca. The color is Azul Fresco. It's like blue and light blue and a little bit of white, and it's beautiful. So I've decided this is my favorite. Well, I'll I'll say that later. I love this. So I bought 3 of these. She had a little sale going on. It was like she's called it Christmas in July. So got a pretty good deal. I bought 3 of these to make myself something. And then I really want to make the like the sock yarn blanket everyone's been making. But I don't have sock yarn. And like I know a lot of people do swaps and stuff so they get enough, but I don't even have stuff to swap. So this is actually my second kind of sock yarn, and I guess whenever I finish my socks, if I have leftover, I'll make sock yarn out of that. But I decided to get one. I could make a couple out of these. Maybe they'll look a little different. Each square maybe will look a little different. But if anybody wants to swap, I have some of this. I'll make a square and then put the rest up in minis. So if anybody wants some of this, let me know. It's Heritage Paints Cascade Yarns, hand painted. 75% superwash merino, 25% wool. Color number 9811. Anyway, it's really soft and lots of bright colors. Yeah, so I got that. And then I got some other little goodies. I got these little, these are from Hiya Hiya. The Hiya Hiya stitch markers. And then these are going to be part of a giveaway. the secret though. It's a secret giveaway. And then she had these on sale too. They're the Addy Turbos. And I got the US ones, and they're 40-inch cables. And I thought I would give them a try, and because I really do like knitting that sock, and I thought maybe I would learn to do like 2 at a time or something like that. So I can do magic flute if I wanted to. Then I got this cute little sock keychain taggy thing. The sock doctor is in. Hook this keychain to your knitting bag or key ring for a handy reminder of the Kitchener stitch and anatomy of a sock. Darning needle included. The darning needle is like right there. It's like sticks in through there. Right there. Isn't it cute? This side is the Kitchener stitch. This just tells you the cuff and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I got. What's next? Okay, Ask Codi. So, those of you who might not know, you can go onto the Codi Knits podcast group on Ravelry, and there's a section there called Ask Codi, and you can ask me questions, and I'll answer them here on the podcast. I know a lot of people have been doing that lately, so I thought I would do. Let's see, D Newton 311. She says, I'm having trouble with my knitting lately. I'm never satisfied, and I find I am ripping more than finishing. Do you ever get that way about your knitting, and do you just finish or start over? So, well, there's kind of 2 points I want to make about that. And the first one is, if you're knitting something that's making you miserable and you hate it, stop. Rip it out or something. Put it away, because knitting is supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and life is too short to knit something you don't like. Put it simply. So yeah, if you're just not, rip it out, because maybe it's and the second point I wanted to make is, just because you're not enjoying that pattern doesn't mean that you won't enjoy that pattern with another type of yarn. Or it could be the yarn needle combo and you're just not enjoying that. Or it could be the pattern. You're just like, I just don't like it. So you definitely don't want to spend a lot of time, with that. If I start knitting something and I don't like it, so if it's a quality technique issue on my part, so I like the pattern and I like the yarn and all that stuff, but I don't, and if it's a pattern and it's my issue that I just don't like it, then I'll rip it out and start over, because I don't like to give people poor quality work. I like to give them my best. And then if it's a little minor mistake, like I made a couple of mistakes in like the first handbrake cowl I made a couple of mistakes in the perk me up cowl. It didn't bother me, so I just picked up where I left off. And sometimes if you're making a mistake, as long as you make the same mistake through the whole project, it doesn't matter. No one will ever know. But if you're consistent, it looks like it's supposed to be that way, right? But if I'm making something that I just don't like, I'm just gonna rip it out. And like that baby sweater thing, the pattern didn't make sense to me. I didn't want to spend all my time trying to figure it out and come up with something that just was horrible. So I ripped it out and found another pattern, and I love it, and I'm enjoying making the baby sweater, for example. Mr. Noodles asked about, have I ever thought about doing Tunisian crochet? And I have actually. There's two things that I've thought about doing, but I've been so wrapped up in knitting and that kind of stuff that I haven't really been expanding my crochet abilities. But I have thought about Tunisian crochet, and actually I thought about that more before I learned how to knit, because you can make Tunisian crochet look like knitting, and I always like, for hats and stuff, I really like the look of knitting better than crochet. Just personal opinion, preference. So I have thought about it. And yes, those crochet crowd videos, Mikey, he does such a good job. And so anybody who was wanting to learn how to crochet, I would suggest that you go to his videos, and also go check out Claire at Bob Wilson 123. They both have great knitting tutorials and stuff. Mama Bear Crafts asks, how old is Diamond? So Diamond, yeah, let's talk about you. Diamond, it will be 4 in November. I got her when she was 6 weeks old, and she fit in my hand, and I loved her ever since. And she's come a long way since then. Back then, I had to wake up every 2 hours and take her outside to try to potty train her. She hated going into the crate. Now she loves the crate. She doesn't have to go. She holds it. The only thing weird, people talk about how their dogs will let them know they want to go outside by sitting at the door or something. Diamond never does that. She just holds it until I'd have to remember, like, hey, don't, go let Diamond potty. She's holding it, because she doesn't let me know. But whatever. But I love her. She'll be 4. She I think she was in her little puppy stage where she was crazy, running around, tearing stuff up sometimes. Every now and then she'll get into something, but she was like that until she was about 3. So this year she's gotten a lot better. Let's see. The next question is from D Newton 311 again. It says, "You've done a few podcasts now. Does it still feel exciting and good, or is it getting a little old? I'd be afraid of getting tired of listening to myself, but you are a great speaker, so I can't see that happening to you." Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I still love it. It's therapeutic for me. I get to, I don't ever have anybody I can really talk to about yarn and my projects and stuff, because no one, or I don't have any friends who knit and stuff like that. So you guys are my friends who knit. So I get to share what I'm doing with you. And I like to watch others' podcasts and stuff, because I get to see what you're doing. And I do get inspired by what you guys are doing. And I do like to, um, have that communication, and such a wonderful community. And I really enjoy being a part of it and supporting each other. And it's just wonderful. And I enjoy it so much. So I don't get tired of it. I wish I could spend more time doing it. Sometimes I feel like I rush through things, I forget, that kind of stuff. But I really enjoy doing it. And even when I'm tired, like, I know sometimes I podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, it's been a long day. But that's because it's kind of, like I said, it's therapeutic and relaxing to me. I enjoy, I don't get to do a whole lot of editing on of the podcast. I try to every now and then, but I just don't have enough time. I'd like to, but I just don't have enough time. So, but I do enjoy it, and I like reading everyone's comments. And even if I don't get to, reply to the comments and stuff on YouTube and on Ravelry and stuff like that, I do read them, and they make you make me smile a lot. And you guys are so encouraging, and it's just wonderful. Let's see. Last one is Bouncer DJ Wife. She is the one who is the designer for JMO Creations, like the Crashing Waves cowl that I showed you earlier. She asked, since she does a lot of patterns, she would like to know what my favorite yarn is and what's my favorite project to make. So my favorite yarn, I don't really have a favorite brand, I don't think. I do like Malabrigo a lot. But I think it's more of this. It's like a yarn that's like this. So it's like, it's single ply, but it's almost like it's hand spun. So there's like varying, I guess, widths or thickness sometimes. Like, see that, and then over here, it's a little thicker. I don't know if you can see. But I like that. I really do. I mean, I don't know why, but I just do. The Messalina shawl yarn does that, and I don't know. That's what I like knitting with this kind of yarn. It doesn't split, none of that stuff, and I don't know what kind or type, but I think it's kind of hand spun or single ply or something. If you know more technical stuff, I just love knitting with it. I like the way it runs through my fingers. I like the way it looks. I like the way it's not the same. It just, you get a little something different every now and then. I like it. As far as patterns, as you can see, I have all kinds of different things. Now, I'm not a big fan of making a scarf. As you can see, I had that one scarf for forever, and I'm still not finished. And the reason is because it's it feels never ending. It goes on and on and on. And I've always wondered why people tell people to make a scarf as their first project. Don't do that. Don't make a scarf for your first project unless you make a scarf that's like every like 5 inches or something is a new pattern. Like this much is I don't know, stockinette, and this much is garter, and then this much, the next section is moss stitch, and then the next section has cables or something. Like, then I can do that because it's different. And actually, that's a great way to, you know, practice different things. Like, if you're going to start off, that's good. That's good. But don't just make some stockinette scarf because you're going to get bored. Or I do. That's me. I get bored. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm ready to do something else. I want to make something that's not taking me forever. But I do like shawls. I do like, I enjoyed making the bakery bear. I try to like find new things because I am still pretty kind of new at stuff. So I like to find new, different kinds of things. Yeah, so just different things. I like hats, obviously. I make a lot of hats. Yeah, that stuff. As far as crochet, if I crochet, I like to crochet hats. I like to crochet blankets or afghans. Oh, I was going to say that earlier. Another thing that I've always wanted to try to do with crochet is like this. It's almost like crochet by numbers or something, but you get a picture. I can't remember for some reason off the top of my head, but you crochet. It's like single crochet, and it's a color work. So like, and it'll tell you like each little square is a single crochet, and you go well back and forth like this, and eventually you have a picture. It's so cool. I always wanted to try that. So maybe I will one day. Okay, so future plans. Future future plans are I'm going to make my mom that shawl, but I'm going to finish the Messalina shawl first. And then I was saying that I'm only going to do one shawl at a time, but I'm going to make my mom's shawl, and then I really want to cast on the shawl that I bought some really nice yarn for myself. It's red and black. I bought a while ago to make myself a little shawl. So I really want to cast that on too. So I'm gonna have two going. Um, and then I will do a little short video of like a flash my stash. I don't have a whole lot, but I will let you see it. I'll put it on here. And there's a super exciting, super. I'm just so excited to do it. A knit along cow that I will be hosting. Kind of co-sponsored, I guess, by someone else. Another podcast that you are all very familiar with, and I'm not going to tell you yet, but it's going to start in September. I will announce what it is and all that kind of stuff in August. Probably the middle of August, I will announce, all the logistics and that kind of stuff, and let you know. But be on the lookout because there's going to be some really awesome prizes. I think they're awesome. And it'll be fun, and I can't wait to do it. We've been working on it, and there's still a couple things to work out, but it's in the future, and I'm just so excited to do this. I really am. And then last, I want to do a couple shout outs. Two podcasts that I really enjoy watching, and I don't think they watch my podcast, which is understandable because they have really good ones. The Come Knit With Us podcast, I've been watching them for a while, but they are hilarious. I just laugh so much. They're wonderful. I love watching you guys whenever like I've had a rough day and I just come in and you guys are just so goofy and funny, and I just enjoy spending that time with you. So thank you for doing your podcast and keep it up. And the other one is the Knitting Expat podcast. Mina, who does the Mina Makes Etsy shop, who does the bag I showed you with my socks. She's really wonderful. She makes patterns, and she started her Etsy shop where she makes bags and everything. And she's just a really lovely person. She is. She gives you a little cultural education. She is overseas, and well, overseas if you're in America. And she's she's a wonderful knitter as well, and she knits very fast. She whips stuff out like bam, bam, bam. But she's really sweet, and I just enjoy hearing, about her life over there, and I can't say the name for some. I can't. I'm not even gonna try. But go check it out, Mina, of the Knitting Expat podcast, and I will put a link to their podcast in the show notes. Anyway, I'm hungry. And my food is sitting over there waiting. So I'm going to go and have my dinner. And I am going to edit this and get it uploaded. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you get to knit a whole lot and enjoy time with your family and loved ones and friends. And I get to go to a wedding tomorrow. I don't have a date still. That's okay. I like going to weddings because the food, and then there's wedding cake, and then there's the little party afterwards, and it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. One of my coworkers from Emory, she started when I did and went through the new grad program with Emory. Oh, I don't think I've ever said that before. Anyway, I didn't want to say where I worked on there, but anyway, she works with me, and she's a good friend, and I'm looking forward to her wedding tomorrow. Anyway, remember, guys, take one take things one stitch at a time. That's how you get through knitting. That's how you get through life. Um, it was so funny because one of you guys reminded me of that when I was all stressed out the other week from finals. You say, remember, one stitch at a time. Yes. And I kept telling myself that, and that's how I got through it. One thing at a time. So, yeah, keep it up. Um, don't give up. Keep trying new things. Have a wonderful week. Um, give the people you love big hugs. All right, bye, you guys. You guys. Still feels weird. Bye, y'all. I like y'all better.